Here is another book about the habitat in Africa. I read one book about the desert. That's one habitat in Africa. But below that, there is another habitat called the savannah, where many animals and people in Africa live because it is a friendlier climate and does get rain. So this is a book about a savannah habitat, and this is a type of gazelle on the front of the book, and the book is written by Bobby Coleman. Bobby Coleman is the author of the book, A Savannah Habitat. What is the word habitat? A savannah habitat. Habitat is a place where we live. There are many kinds of habitats. And now, on the front page, the title appears again, and there's a picture of a lion. And look at all this grass around the lion. So I bet the lion lives in the habitat of the savannah, and I bet the savannah has lots of long grass in it. Okay. Now, this is a nonfiction book. Nonfiction book is about real things or real people or real places. And all nonfiction books generally have a table of contents. So this is the table of contents page, and there's a picture of a fox who lives in the savannah. He's one of the animals in the savannah. And we'll very quickly look at what the contents of the book might be. Okay, first it says contents, then it says what is a habitat. You will learn what is a habitat on that page. Then everything they need, everything that animals or people need to live in this habitat. Then examples of savannah habitats. Okay, so there's a savannah in Africa, but perhaps there's a savannah in other parts of the world too. And then what is the weather like in a savannah? And then savannah plants, what kinds of plants grow in the savannah? And then learning about how plants make food for the people and animals who live in a savannah. And then savannas on fire. Savanna's on fire. I wonder if it's dry in the savannah. Because sometimes when places are very dry, they are more likely to have a fire. And then savannah animals. What animals live in the savannah? Finding food. What kind of food can they find in the savannah? Eating different plants. Different animals eat different plants, or maybe different animals eat different parts of a plant. And then getting energy. How plants and animals provide us with energy, or basically food that makes us able to keep going. Living in groups, that animals in the savannah live in groups, just as we all, as human beings, live in groups or families. Animals live in groups or families too. Then life without rain. Life without rain. Does that mean that sometimes there's no rain at all in the savannah? And then safe in the savannas. How do animals stay safe in the savannas? We saw that picture of the lion. Remember the picture of the lion on the front page? If you were another animal who lived in the savannah, would you want to be safe in the savannah? How would you keep your baby? How would the mommy elephant keep her baby safe from a lion, for example? And then words to know in the index in the book. Remember that the index is what? What is an index? An index is basically like a small dictionary at the back of the book that tells us more where we can find different words in the book. And usually the index has difficult words. Now this index is nice because it's divided up into different types of things to learn about. So for example, the animals are on all of these page numbers. And look at the picture of the rhinoceros. So I know now that a rhinoceros lives in the savannah. And then energy. Here's a picture of the sun with the word energy. When it gets warm outside, does sun make our plants grow? Have you noticed that we're beginning to see some green plants in Virginia right now? Because it's getting a little bit warmer, and springtime is almost here when things grow. And then food. Look at this lion is actually killing a zebra in this picture. This lion is getting food. The lion eats a zebra. And then plants. Here's a picture of an acacia tree. An acacia tree is a kind of plant or tree in Africa. And guess what kind of animals love to eat the leaves at the top of that acacia tree? What animal can you think of that has a really long neck? The giraffe eats the leaves from the acacia tree. And then habitats. Here's a picture of an elephant in the savannah. He is living in his savanna habitat. And then grasses. There are different kinds of grass in the savannah. And then savannas, just wherever the word savanna is mentioned in the book. These are the page numbers. And look at these antelope, are examples of animals that live in the savannah. And look at the long brown grass. That is the grass of the savannah. And then water. Water is important for animals to live. Look at the zebras drinking water at the watering hole. So we know that zebras live in the savannah too. And then here are other difficult words in the book. Carnivore. See that word carnes inside of that word? The Spanish word carnes? That means meat. Carnivores eat meat. A lion is a carnivore. Herbivore. See that word herb inside of that word? Herb means like grass. Plant animals that are herbivores eat plants. Like, for example, a zebra is an herbivore, like a horse. Living things. Living things are simply all things that live. You and I are a living thing. A lion is a living thing. Even a plant is a living thing. If a thing grows and needs energy, it is a living thing. Non-living things. What would be a non-living thing? Would dirt be non-living? Yeah. A rock? Yes. Something that does not breathe, something that does not need food or energy or water. And then photosynthesis. That's a long science word, and that's about the process of plants growing and needing energy to grow. Okay, let's read the book. A Savanna Habitat by Bobby Coleman and Rebecca Solner. And this was the table of contents and the cute little Savanna fox. What is a habitat? Let's see, what is a habitat? Well, this is a habitat, picture of a habitat. These are two cheetahs that live in the savannah in Africa. And the savannah looks a little different from a desert to me. It has more things growing, it has more trees, and it has more grass. A habitat is a place in nature. Plants live in habitats. Animals live in habitats too. These animals in the picture are cheetahs. Some animals make homes in their habitats. Here's a picture of some hippopotamuses. Living and non-living things. These are living things in habitats. Plants and animals are living things. There are also non-living things in habitats. Rocks, water, and dirt are non-living things. These hippopotamuses spend a lot of time in the water. So far we've learned that cheetahs and hippopotamuses live in the savannah. Everything they need, that's the title of this chapter. Living things need air, water, and food to stay alive. Plants and animals find everything they need in their habitats. These zebras found water to drink in their habitat. So zebras live in the savannah as well. And here's a picture of meerkats. I remember the meerkats in the movie The Lion King. Homes and habitats. These meerkats have made a home in their habitat. Meerkats make their homes under the ground. Their homes are called burrows, so they live in rooms under the ground. See how they blend in with their scenery? See how they're all almost the same color? Savanna habitats. Look at these giraffes. So let's think. How many animals have we seen so far, and what are they? We've seen a hippopotamus, zebra, giraffe, lion, meerkat. Savanna habitats. Savannas are habitats. They are large areas of land that are covered with grasses. The land is mainly flat. Some savannas have a few trees and shrubs. Shrubs are bushes. They're sort of like short, fat trees. African savannas. Savannas are found in many places on Earth. This book is about the savannas in Africa. African savannas are huge, vast areas of land. And here is an elephant. Weather in the savannas. The weather in savannas is always hot. Savannas are also dry for most of the year. Sometimes it does not rain for several months. And here's a picture of a lion, and I see some birds, and I see some zebras. So the lion might be wanting to hunt some zebras for dinner. Welcome water. In summer, it rains in savannas. During storms, the rain falls and strong winds blow. Lightning flashes in the sky. Loud thunder follows the lightning. See the giraffes huddled near the trees, trying to take shelter from the rain? See how much greener it is in the savanna than it was in the desert book? Savanna plants. Huge parts of savannas are covered with grasses. Small shrubs grow in some places. The shrubs grow close to the ground. They do not grow close together. There is not enough water in the savannas for a lot of shrubs to grow in one place. So there's not enough water for all the shrubs to share the water. And here we have zebras and lots of this is sort of a flowering shrub. Here's an example of the kind of grass you would see in the savanna. Water savers. This is plants that save water. They are very careful with how much water they use. Most kinds of trees cannot grow in savannas because savannas are too dry. The baobab trees grow in savannas, and when it rains, the baobab trees store water in their trunks. The trunk is this part of the tree. The trunk is this part of the tree here. It's like the body of the tree. They use up the water during the months when it does not rain. So sort of like the camel has the hump on his back that stores energy and water, the baobab tree, the way it's designed, it can keep a supply of water for later when it needs water when it's dry. The baobab tree. Plants make food. Living things need food to stay alive. Plants make their own food. They make food using sunlight, air, and water. Making food from sunlight, air, and water is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. This acacia tree makes its own food. Acacia tree. So we've seen the baobab tree and the acacia tree. Parts for making the food. A plant gets sunlight through its leaves. It also gets air through its leaves. The plant gets water through its roots. The plant uses sunlight, air, and water to make food. So the sunlight goes into the plant. The leaves take in the sunlight. The leaves also take in air. And then the roots take in water from the soil and feed the leaves and the flower. Savannas on fire. Savannas are dry. So if lightning occurs, it might create a big fire. The grasses in savannas are very dry. They catch fire easily. There are often fires in the savannas. Lightning starts some of the fires. People start other fires. The fires kill many savanna plants. Here's a big fire on the savanna, and there's an antelope. But life goes on. Some savanna plants stay alive in the fires. Grasses stay alive because they have long roots under the ground. Fires do not burn the roots under the ground. And when it rains, new grasses grow from the roots. These nyla are eating new grasses. These are a kind of antelope. Lions eat these animals, antelopes. What kind of animals live in the savannah? Savannah animals. This spring hare is the same color as brown grass. Its color hides it from other animals. What is that called when your color hides you from other animals and things in the environment? It's called camouflage. These animals live in the savannah. The savannah is their habitat. The animals find food and water in the savannah. They also find homes in the savannah. Look at this rhinoceros, mother and baby. These rhinoceroses eat a lot of grass. This bat-eared fox has big ears so that it can hear very well. This gazelle can run away from the lions. And this hyena eats the food that other animals leave behind. He eats the food that other animals leave behind. He's kind of what you would call a scavenger. And the secretary bird has long legs so it can run quickly. The secretary bird. Finding food. How do these animals find food? Some of the animals that find food in savannas are herbivores. Herbivores only eat plants. A rhinoceros is an herbivore. It eats grasses and other plants. See this rhinoceros eating some grass. Eating animals. Some savanna animals are carnivores. Remember the Spanish word carnes inside of the word carnivore? Carnivores eat other animals. This crocodile is a carnivore that eats fish and birds. The crocodile eats fish and birds. Now here's a picture of an ostrich. I wonder what he eats. Eating both. Some savanna animals are omnivores. Omni is a prefix that means all of it. Omni. Omnivores eat both plants and animals. This ostrich is an omnivore. It eats grasses, leaves, and seeds. It also eats insects, which makes it a meat eater or a carnivore. Eating different plants. Look at the giraffe eating the very top of this acacia tree. But then look at these antelope eating the grasses on the ground. Many savanna animals are herbivores or omnivores. These animals eat different kinds of plants. They also eat different parts of the plants. If all the animals ate the same parts of the same plants, the animals would soon run out of food. Food for all. Some animals can reach plants that grow high above the ground. A giraffe can reach the leaves that grow high on a tree. Other animals eat plants that they find on the ground. A baboon eats tall grasses. These baboons are eating grasses. So see the baby baboon eating grass and the mommy baboon eating grass that's on the ground. And yet the giraffe eats the leaves at the top of a tree. Different animals eat different plants and different parts of the plant. Getting energy. How do these animals get energy? Let's see. We have grass. The grass gives energy to the eland antelope. And then the antelope gives energy to the cheetah when he eats him. It's like a circle of life, isn't it? If you've seen the movie The Lion King, it's a circle. It's a big circle. And one animal creates energy for another animal, or one thing creates energy for another thing. All living things need energy to grow and to move. Energy comes from the sun. Plants get energy from sunlight. Animals get energy by eating. An eland is an herbivore. It gets energy by eating grasses. Carnivores get energy by eating other animals. A cheetah is a carnivore. It gets energy by eating an eland, but the eland gets energy by eating the plant. Living in groups. Look at this lion family. A family of lions is called a pride of lions. A family of birds is called a flock of birds. Many savanna animals live in groups. Wildebeests and zebras live in big groups called herds. Elephants and lions live in smaller groups. There are only 4 lions in this group. Flying groups. Some savanna birds live in huge groups. They fly in groups called flocks. These birds are quails. A flying flock of quails looks like a big, dark shape in the sky, but it is a group or a flock of many, many birds. Life without rain. What do these animals do when it does not rain? Are they thirsty? What do they do? Look at these elk looking for water. During the months when there is no rain, savannas are very dry. There is no water or food for some animals. Many animals walk or fly to other habitats to find water and food. Wildebeest leave savannas for part of the year. They return to savannas when it rains there. Digging in. This is a picture of a monitor lizard. Wonder if lizards need very much water. Their skin looks kind of dry. Some animals stay in savannas all year. Monitor lizards stay all year. Monitor lizards drink and eat a lot when it rains. They do not need to drink or eat very much when it is dry. So they do a lot of eating and drinking when it's raining, and they save it up and use it when it's dry outside. Safe in the savannas. How do animals stay safe? Savanna animals have ways of staying safe from animals that eat them. Some animals can run very fast, like this ostrich. Ostriches are very fast runners. They race away from animals that chase them. Look at those strong, fast, long legs. Safe babies. Many savanna carnivores eat baby animals. Carnivores can catch baby animals easily. Many adult animals protect their babies. Mother elephants always stay close to their babies. And then that's the end of the book. And then we have our index. So if you're interested in a special thing, you can look in the index and look up everything, all the pages where that idea or thing might be.